Hello, viola players. This is the now third video where we're working on skills from the Happy Farmer in your Suzuki book. So previous to this video, I made a prep video. That one you should do first. All right, and then I made teaching video number 1, which addresses the hooked bows. This video is going to focus mostly on the rhythm of Happy Farmer. So in the previous video, which I know you watched, I talked about the hooked bows, right? And we did at the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so what we were doing there, we were playing those 3 notes or thinking or counting to 3. 2, 3, was something called subdividing. Subdividing is where you think a faster beat while you're playing. So I was thinking eighth notes, do-day, do-day, while I was playing a dotted quarter note like this. 1, 2, 3. All right, subdividing is going to be very important as we move ahead in the Happy Farmer so that we're not rushing our dotted quarter notes. What's a dotted quarter note? It's okay if you don't know. I'm going to tell you right now. It is, if we don't count that first little pickup note, it's the very first note in the piece. It's a quarter note that has a dot after it. Okay, not on top of it, but after it. All right, so those dotted quarter notes, when we start in Happy Farmer, our beat is going to be pretty slow. So for each of those, we're going to count to 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the first 2 measures and include that little pickup. And remember before we were practicing counting 1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to keep doing that. We have to start our beat in our head before we play. So I'm going to demonstrate the first 2 measures plus our first pickup note. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's tricky. We have to do a lot of counting when we're playing. So I'm going to count out loud. It might be easier coordination-wise if you count in your head, or if it's easier for you to shadow bow along with me and count out loud, that works too. Another thing you could do is you could pluck the notes while I'm playing. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Because that pizzicato, that plucking doesn't lie, right? It happens when it happens. So you really know if you're counting it correctly. Okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning and play those first 2 measures plus the pickup a few times. 1, 2, 3. All right, one more time on that. Remember, you can always pause and do it again if you need to. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's the first 2 measures plus pickup. I'm going to start from the 3rd full measure. Now that measure is all eighth notes, but the measure after we have quarter notes, which are going to feel long after playing all those eighth notes. So here's measures 3 and 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so notice when I got to measure 4, I counted to 2 for each of those quarter notes because there's 2 eighth notes in each quarter note, right? Rest. Okay, so here's just measure 4. Rest. Do measure 4 one more time. Ready, go. Rest. All right, so now I'm going to put 3 and 4 together, starting from that F natural. And if you're wondering, why are my quarter notes 2 beats? Quarter notes are 1 beat. Well, that's just because the beat that we are thinking right now, because we're going so slow, is an eighth note, right? So that's why we're counting to 2. So I'm doing measures 3 and 4. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, one more time for good luck on that. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so now here's the whole first line. Still counting before I start. That never goes away, not even for professionals. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to do that one more time. And remember, pause that video, practice it till you got it. Especially with those hook bows, this is a lot to coordinate all at once. This is a tricky song. All right, I'm going to keep on going though. I'm going up through the second line. And now you'll see that that little pickup at the end of the first line makes sense because it really belongs to the following phrase in the second line. So here I go, still counting off. 1, 2, 3. All right, so our first two lines are pretty much exactly the same. All right, so there's the rhythm in your first two lines. I'm going to keep on going. I'm actually going to start from the very last measure of the second line so we can get that transition. And again, these rhythms pretty much remain the same. The notes are just slightly different. All right, so I'm starting at the last measure of the second line. 1, 2, here I go. Okay, let's hit that part one more time because that's kind of a new thing, and then the rest of it is familiar. All right, so here's the last measure of the second line. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so I'm going to start there one more time, and I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to go until measure 14. And then after that, it's an exact repeat of what you just did. So if you got that, then you've got the rest of it. Luckily, this song's pretty short because it really packs a punch with all those new skills in there. So I am starting from the last measure of the second line, and I'm playing through measure 14. 1, 2, ready, go. I did a little bonus note for you there so you could hear that transition. But those are basically all the rhythms you need in Happy Farmer. Never stop counting. So eventually this will go faster, of course, right? This isn't your top speed for Happy Farmer, but what remains the same is that you will continue to subdivide, thinking those eighth notes in your head as you're playing. So if I did the beginning a little faster, um, and I went, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Right? Or even if I went super fast. The thing that remains the same is my subdividing, my subdivision, and my steady beat. So no matter what speed you're going, you are always thinking those eighth notes. You have a constant tick of eighth notes happening in your head to help keep you steady when you play Happy Farmer. Good luck.